Hi there, Zam here for NerdTube. These are my thoughts and spoilers of Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 9, La Locker Room, or Folles. I hope I said that correctly. So we have three significant stories arcs going through this particular episode. First of all, about Roy Kent basically expressing himself more and not being pissed off with the world all the bloody time in a way that would be suitable for someone like Roy Kent. The second is Nate Shelley and how much of an arsehole his boss Rupert truly is. I mean, he's a player and stuff like that, and we know that he's not necessarily loyal to his partners. But this episode, he truly came across as a fucking arsehole, and I would like to talk about that in a moment. And finally, the most prominent part of this episode was regarding Colin. Now, him being gay has been something that has been hinted at to briefly delved into in previous episodes, but it went full on in this episode. Of course, Isaac knows about it as well, and the relationship between Colin and Isaac comes to a head, so to speak, because we don't know exactly how Isaac truly feels. Because initially, he comes across as a bit of a as an arsehole. That's the only way I can think of. And let's talk about that, shall we? You see, Colin is trying to get through to Isaac, but Isaac is giving him the cold shoulder. He's not talking to him. He's not responding to him, and you just assume that Isaac is homophobic. And during the course of this episode, this situation does start to escalate. There's a guy in the stands, a Richmond fan, who's shouting all sorts of abuse. Now, Richmond have already gone for a 7 winning game streak at this moment in time. You would think this fan would just shut the fuck up. But at one particular point, when Richmond are down to 10 men because Isaac loses his marbles a little bit, the fan calls the entire Richmond team a bunch of faggots. And then this triggers Isaac big time. And he runs into the crowd and he starts a fight with that particular geezer. It kind of reminds you of like times when Eric Cantona famously did the kung fu kick, and I think also God, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name now. That Tottenham defender. He has a brother who's disabled. I think a fan maybe tried to start a fight with his brother at that particular time, and obviously the right thing to do would be to come in and defend your brother, who's disabled against a fan who's picking on somebody who's disabled, and anyone who picks on the disabled is fucking scum anyway. Anyway, during the halftime interval, people are wondering what the fuck is going on, and Isaac is totally distraught. He breaks down. He goes into the Foot Locker room, and he has a heart to heart with Roy Kent. Now everyone kind of assumes now, by trying to string things together a little bit, that maybe Isaac's gay, but then Colin comes out literally and tells everyone that no, I'm gay. And the great thing about this is that everyone is totally cool with it. Nobody cares that Colin is gay. There's no minuscule issues here and there regarding showering together or anything like that. They genuinely don't care, and that's nice and all. Maybe it's a bit of a cop out by the writers. You would have thought maybe a couple of people would have given a damn to a degree, or would try to pretend they don't have an issue with it, but truly do have an issue with it, and they can't somehow brush it off, something along those lines. But fair enough, everyone seems to be cool with it. Even Isaac eventually ends up being cool with it. The only reason why he was so pissed off earlier is that he thought him and Colin were cool, and that Colin would tell him everything, but Colin obviously held this information back. So as far as he was concerned, Colin was lying to him. But once they have a moment together and they're able to talk things out, Colin tells him, "Look, being gay is not easy, especially in this world." And over a game of FIFA, they have a little back and forth of understanding each other and all of that. It was pretty cool. It was a nice moment just to see that these two guys are still friends after all that's happened. And Richmond continue their winning streak, but they come back from a goal down, being down to 10 men to win 2-1. With Colin obviously giving a man of the match performance. I guess with the weight of the world now on his no longer on his shoulders, he feels free to play his football now in the best way possible. To Nate, his situation with Rupert, you kind of see the seedy side of Rupert, so to speak. Rupert knows that Nate has a girlfriend, the very pretty girlfriend whose name I still haven't remembered yet. But he basically tells his Rupert and his girlfriend to his girlfriend, yeah, you're way out of his league. And then later on, Rupert invites Nate to a lad's night out, and this is where you can see the sinister side of Rupert, because what he's trying to do is corrupt Nate, and he has a couple of chicks with him, and they're gonna, he expects Nate to maybe get drunk and shag one of these birds, but Nate wants nothing to do with it, and he tells Rupert, I'm going, and then Rupert doesn't respond, just gives him a look, and you can see now that like the relationship between Rupert and Nate might start to disintegrate, and maybe Rupert in his own evil way, in his own fucked up way, might try to sabotage Nate, even though Nate's doing a great job as West Ham manager. We'll see how that pans out next week. Finally, regarding Roy, he is basically having to listen to the people who pay his wages. Rebecca's pissed off that Roy never took a press conference earlier. Coach Beard did, and then next thing you know, the coach and the reporters are all arguing over bloody who's the best guitarist and stuff, and they're effing and jeffing. And Rebecca was pissed off that Roy didn't take the press conference and basically demand. I can't remember word for word exactly what she said, but she really gave Roy a moment of self-reflection. And Roy had to look at himself and think, wow, maybe Rebecca's right. And then when the next opportunity came for a press conference after the 2-1 win against Brighton, Roy took the press conference, and the first person he calls up to ask him a question, he goes to him, you over there, 5 o'clock shadow head. And it's just basically this guy who's balding and stuff, and he's got a little bit of stubble on top of his head. Oh my god, that was just fucking beautiful. I laughed so goddamn much. Like the the terms and the nicknames he gives to people, Roy does, is beautiful. And Roy kind of started to embrace the press conference. He was he was actually asking people to give him questions at the end, and so he was embracing this new role and just taking it on board. Oh yeah, not to forget Keely and Jack. It looks like they're pretty much over now. Jack has gone to Argentina, and I think Keely's accepting the breakup. So yeah, and you know what, good for Keely, because as much as I'm all a sucker for a couple of hot lesbian chicks making out like they did last week. If Jack is somebody who won't support you because because an innocent video of you wanking got spread on the internet, and there's nothing wrong in wanking, then and if you feel like you have to apologize over something which is totally innocent, and Jack's not going to support you over that, and Jack wants you to apologize over that, then that person's not good for you. But yeah, I think we moved on from Jack now. I don't know who Keely's going to be jumping on to next, but the Nate, Shelley, and Rupert saga seems to be something that might be interesting in the upcoming episodes. And going back to Colin as well, the boys are going to keep his sexuality a secret from the press. No one's going to talk about it, but who knows? It might come out eventually. You never know with these things, but at least none of them are concerned or upset or angry that he's gay, because in today's world, to be angry, upset, concerned, annoyed, disappointed, pissed off, worried about someone being gay is fucking stupid. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest YouTube channel you never heard of. Take care. And by the way, this episode gets a fantastic 9 out of 10. Or is that, sorry, 9 out of 10. Good stuff. Take care now. Bye bye.